Hi, I'm Michael Geller with JDC, and today I have the great pleasure of sitting with Jay Ruderman, president of the Ruderman Family Foundation, a philanthropist and activist in the world of disabilities, Israel and the Jewish world, and I have the enormous pleasure of talking to him about his book, Find Your Fight. The book is newly out, it is getting a lot of praise, and Jay is an old and dear friend of JDC, a JDC Board Member, a very, very influential part of the JDC family who has spent his time with us, pushing us on important issues, and I'm very happy to be here with him today. Jay, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, Michael.
It's a pleasure to be here with you. So we know each other for a very long time, so I will cut in quickly, and the first question I have for you is, what was the inspiration for this book?
My background was in law and politics, and I always had an activist bent to me. When I got involved in philanthropy, I really wanted to merge the two. So my career in philanthropy has really been as an activist philanthropist, especially with JDC and some of the programs that we've done, but with other organizations as well. We've taken them into an activist mode, and I thought it was important to talk about that. And as I got more into writing the book, I was talking about my own examples, but I was also talking about the examples of many other people throughout history and people who are active right now, who are activists, who really have led change in our country and our world.
So Jay, you write about activism. People throw the word around quite a lot. A lot of connotations around activism, a lot of images around activism, but for you, at its very base, what is activism?
So activism is actually a very simple idea. You see something wrong in the world. It can be locally, it could be nationally, it could be globally. You see something wrong and you want to try to put your efforts into making it better. That's really what activism is about. You know, it could be your child's school, it could be an issue in your state, an issue in the country, an issue in the world. There are so many issues that we have to deal with. You have to pick your issue, you have to go narrow and deep, but you have to really put your efforts into trying to make it better. For some people, that comes very naturally. They've grown up with activism. They've always been involved in social issues. Some people have devoted their lives to business or raising a family or whatever, and they care about issues, but they don't know how to go about doing it. And that's really what the book is about, how to be an effective activist. Activism is really just trying to make the world a better place. And I think, you know, as Jews, that's part of who we are as a people.
And when you're talking to decision makers, those may be folks in government, they may be in the NGO sector, but it can also be at the grassroots level. It could be other activists within the landscape that you're working in. How do you bring them along?
I was speaking to someone, another fellow activist the other day, and he said, you know, I'm asked all the time, how do I get started? And I don't know how to start. And his answer was, just start. Just start going out there and talking about what's important to you. It's really important to build allyship and to find other people who are doing the same thing. You don't want to try to recreate the wheel every time.
So we live in a world of many, many causes, and people have many passions. And if you're someone who's just starting out, where does Find Your Fight meet them, and how does it guide them through their journey to become an activist?
So the first chapter is really about picking your cause. And it's a very personal thing. You have to really go deep inside yourself and say, what do I care about the most? And that's different for each person. But after you find that issue that really motivates you, the book takes you through step by step, how to learn about that cause, become an expert on it, how to get some attention by creating some controversy, whether it's in the social media or traditional media, how to build allyship, how to change that controversy into working with decision makers and actually trying to effectuate change, and also how to take care of yourself through that process.
In a world of tremendous division, where sometimes it's difficult to make and keep allies, where people are drawing lines among themselves and around the issues that they care about, how does the activist philanthropist transcend that and make a difference in the world?
I think you have to look beyond the division and look at effective change. Change really comes about not through the traditional systems that we're used to, you know, politics and media and so forth. I think change comes about through activism. And I think at the core of my book and the core of my belief is that basically people are good and people believe in justice. And if you can speak to people's hearts and minds, you will be able to move forward whatever cause is important to you. And that's how I've always approached it. And I do think activism done right and speaking to the hearts and minds and getting people behind you can move the media, can move politics, can move business.
So I think that you took that philosophy when you and the foundation dove into Hollywood, right? You created this Hollywood model of activism to ensure that people with disabilities had greater visibility, accessibility, rights within the Hollywood system. So can you talk to me a little bit about that?
So first of all, I have to say I'm a Bostonian. So I had no connection to Hollywood whatsoever. We got involved first by being very critical of the inauthentic portrayal of disability in film and TV. After doing that, we created several white papers that really showed Hollywood the disparity and how people with disabilities were not shown authentically. And then we were able, through allyship, to get into the studios and speak to the decision makers to change their policy to open it up. Step by step, through pushing through activism, I think we got to where we wanted to get to, which was to effectuate change. If we had stayed in the beginning and just been critical and said, well, this TV show isn't good enough or this movie isn't good enough, we wouldn't have created change. And the whole point of the book and the whole point of what we've tried to do is actually create change.
There's no question you have. I mean, the groundswell has been impressive. And I wonder, in reading the book, you talk about a concept, this idea of narrow and deep. If you go narrow and deep, you can really achieve impact. So can you talk to us about that?
Sure. It was a conversation with an executive at The Joint who said, listen, if you really want to be effective as a philanthropist or as an activist, you really have to pick your issue, know that issue, really becoming an expert in that issue and focus on that issue. Because if you're all over the place, if you're, talking about one issue and then you're switching to another issue, I think that you lose your effectiveness. And early on, we decided that with disability inclusion, we could play an outsized role. And that became our issue. That's how we went narrow and deep. My nephew was born with autism. My father developed a debilitating disease, which he passed away from, alpha-1 antitrypsin. I have a son with ADHD. I've dealt with issues of depression, anxiety. Disability and mental health issues are prevalent throughout the entire world. And so that was our cause. And at the time that I started to get involved, disability was dealt with either through stigma, not talking about it, certainly in the case of mental health, or segregation, that people with disabilities were put into segregated classrooms, sheltered workshops, separate housing. And we took the approach with other activists of integration, that people with disabilities are human beings, that they have the right to be part of every aspect of human life. And we kept pushing that further, first in the Jewish community in Boston, in the day school, particularly, but also in the workplace. But then more nationally in the Jewish world, working with all the different religious movements to make them more integrated. And then more internationally, especially with the Joint and Israel and Israeli society, and making sure that Israeli society is more integrated for people with disabilities.
With JDC, you went from Israel Unlimited, our work within the disability space in Israel, into what is a new project for us together, which is ImpactWell, which is bringing last mile health solutions to folks in very rural settings. We have begun the work in Africa, we have expanded it. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired you to get involved in this?
First of all, I would say that in the philanthropic world, the organizational world, the JDC has some of the best staff and best leadership that I have met out there. Now, what was important to me with ImpactWell, as we're always involved as a foundation, sort of the creation of what we're doing. So there were a couple main principles. One, that we were taking Jewish support and the latest, greatest Israeli medical advances, medical technology, and bringing that to the most rural, neediest parts of the world. So we began in Ghana, which is a very pivotal country in Africa in terms of influence, and then from there went to Malawi and have had great success in Malawi, bringing technology like, for example, portable x-rays, where people can be diagnosed hundreds or thousands of miles away by a doctor and have their lives saved. So we went from Ghana to Malawi. Now we're looking at different parts of Africa, different parts of the world. But I'm very explicit when I meet with the leadership of these countries to say, we are a Jewish organization. We're taking Israeli technology because I want to help as many people as possible, but I also want to be clear, where that technology and support is coming from.
Jay, thank you for that, for improving our world, forcing us to go narrow and deep, forcing us to be challenged sometimes and to be cajoled along the way and to make a difference. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.